Hi, this is Ray Brown from Owings, Maryland, and I play golf at Swan Point Country Club. Welcome to Golf Smarter.
Hi, this is Joe Espinosa from Austin, Texas, and I play at Mill Creek in Salado, Texas. This is Golf Smarter number 1019.
During the pre-shot routine, when you're choosing your spot, there is a course management part of playing where you absolutely want to hit it or miss it in a certain area. There's incredible amounts of strokes that can be shaved off your game simply by picking the right place to go. However, there's a moment at which your thinking has to change from where the ball's going to end up to the task at hand, which is the only thing you can affect, which is the ball that's in front of you. So your target is actually the ball. All of the pre-shot routine part is you deciding where you want to try to hit that ball, but you can't affect where it's going to go. You can't affect what's going to happen over there.
You can get it started.
But you can only get it started in the 2 feet on either side that matters.
But is the ball the target?
Absolutely it is. By the time you're hitting, the ball is the target.
It's time to make golf fun again, starting at the ball and moving backwards with David Buck.
This is Golf Smarter, sharing stories, tips, and insights from great golf minds to help you lower your score and raise your golf IQ. Here's your host, Fred Green.
Welcome to the Golf Smarter podcast, David.
Thank you very much.
It's great to have you on the show. This is going to be a silly conversation. I have a feeling just from our 3 minutes of prep.
Well, I have two languages. I've got English and I've got sarcasm. So that's really all I got to work with. So.
Well, I just by listening to your voice a little bit, I sense you're Canadian.
I am Canadian. I can put on the Canadian accent real sharp if you want to, but I need a bit of maple syrup to do that.
Well, so the English and sarcasm is actually speaking Canadian, isn't it?
It's just natural. But we don't even hold a candle towards the Australians. They're just a level higher. So
it's so true. It's so true. Let's get a little bit of your background in golf so that we can establish the craziness that we're going to learn about from you in a little bit.
Sure. So basically, I used to play baseball, and my brother broke his knee playing baseball, and I really didn't want to do what my brother did. You know, you try to learn from your elders, and I didn't want to play a sport like football or hockey or baseball. I was going to get hurt, so I quit the baseball. And a buddy of mine, it was in the 7th grade when I was 13 years old, said, "Well, I got a junior membership at the course this summer. It's $300. My mom's driving me out anyways. Why don't you come join me?" Well, I'd never played golf before. I mean, this is going back a few years. This is in the early 90s. And golf at that point was it was the nerd game. It's like nobody plays golf unless you got...
Just before Tiger broke the scene,
It
right?
was Greg Norman era.
Okay.
And it was and I mean, Titleist was on the forefront. They were I started still using Balatas and DT wounds. So when the Pro V came out, that was quite a thing. But we played all summer, and then we played all summer next summer. And then we thought, hey, well, maybe I should, get a coach and start doing this more seriously. And we made some really good decisions in there. And I'm short. I don't know about you. I'm only 5'7". And I mean, especially back in the day, we didn't have distance clinics teaching you how to hit it further. You had what you had and you played it. And I hit the ball about 260 yards and hit driver everywhere. And my parents sat down and said, you know what, I think you've got something here, but don't play tournaments yet. Don't get in with the guys who are physically bigger than you. And so we took an entire year there at 16 and played no tournaments and did nothing but practice and drills and short game and putting and playing.
Smart.
And by the time I was 17, started playing tournaments. I jumped right up into the Canadian junior rankings and was playing the Canadian juniors, and then qualified for the World Juniors for 2 years, or going back 2 or 3 years. Played overseas a little bit over in Asia as a junior. Even got some invites to some things over there. Went to school in California and had a very short stay at the school due to some disagreements between the coach and I.
Oh, boy.
And turned pro from there. My brother was out playing, chasing mini tours and Monday qualifiers at that point. So I went out and joined him and turned pro. Ended up playing for 3 years, and it was absolutely wonderful, and learned all sorts of stuff and had incredible heartbreak and incredible triumph and all the things that golf gives to you. I left it. I left it, and as I say, I left it in a way that I wasn't. I made the choice. Okay, it was my choice, but it was, you look back on it and say, well, what if? Could have done things differently. And I gave up the game completely for a number of years.
Wow.
And then, you get to a point where you're not able to do what you used to be able to do. And so that's just frustration. It's just frustration. And so it took me a few years to learn to enjoy the game again. And I did. And long story short, now I mean, there's no place I would rather be than on the first tee, not the 18th green, because then the round's over. The first tee, with the upcoming round of golf. But through my teaching, through my experience, I think of things a little bit differently maybe than some. And I had a few instances in my career where I got a 5-minute lesson from somebody that changed my golfing life. And it's not a matter of complicated. It's a matter of being able to understand what has to happen here and allowing our bodies to actually do it. So now I play golf. I raised my kids up. They're 9 and 12 and learning how to play pretty well, if you ask me, but I mean, I am biased. And I coach others and help people. And my main goal is to help people enjoy the game more. So if that means enjoying the game more through lower strokes, fantastic. If it means enjoying the game by stopping the shanks or curing the yips, then great, fantastic. If it means we were talking about before we started here, the mental hurdle of getting through, hey, this thing's got to get to there somehow, and I want to do it more joyfully. It's the best place in the world when you have contentment and joy also. But it can also be the worst place when you're frustrated and shanking it into the woods.
Oh, of course.
Anyways, that gives you a little synopsis.
Yeah. So not the 18th green. I've always felt like 17th tee is like, to me, the most depressing thing. We're almost done. I don't want to go home. I like it here.
Can we play another 18?
Yeah, exactly. No, not anymore. Cannot do 36 in a day. What happened to you went on and became a competitive and a good golfer, but what happened to that first friend who invited you out he got the $300 and his mom was driving?
Yeah.
What happened to him?
We parted ways as at about 18. And it's funny, I've reached out to him a couple times, but haven't heard back. He's now a lawyer. And even if you go to his website, he's like, yeah, I do. I do law for big corporation litigation. And in my off time, I'm working on my golf game still.
He's still working on it.
Great. And the most entertaining thing about the whole thing is it does not matter what level of golf you're at. If you're a beginner, junior, you're in 2, 3, 4, or you're a seasoned pro, or have had a lifetime of golf. You hear something and you're like, I got to go try it out. And I remember one time this guy, we were 17 years old and we were on the first tee, and he had read somewhere in Golf Digest or something that you should have your feet open a little bit more. And he's like, guys, I finally figured out how to cure my hook. I've got it. I figured it out. And he stands up on the first tee and his feet were splayed almost fully open. Right,
ballet position. First position ballet.
I mean, we're laughing before he's even started, just kind of chuckling underneath our breath. And he stands up on the tee there, and he rope hooks one like 60 yards to the left, out of bounds, into the driving range. It's like, oh, maybe I haven't fixed it yet.
You talked about the lows and the highs, but you said incredible triumphs.
Mm-hmm.
Share that.
I got to share the first one with you. And the first one happened when I was 16 years old, and I was playing Sahalee. They played the 97 PGA Championship there. This was 1998, and we were playing a Pro-Am there. And I was an Am, obviously. I was a junior at the time, and I double bogeyed the first hole. After hitting just a beautiful shot right over the flagstick, of course, buried into the back bunker, and didn't get it. But long story short, parred the second hole, bogeyed the third hole on 3 over par. From then on, went on to make 7 birdies and an albatross, won the tournament by 4 strokes, and that
albatross on which hole? Par.
It was 15, number 15, par 5. I went driver into the cup. And
driver, you hit driver into the cup? From how far away?
I'm going to say it was probably 265, low uphill, front left pin placement, ran it right up the middle. I watched it go in, and I watched it go in, and it's like your eyes, you don't believe it. And so the guys are back there in the fairway, I said, guys, I think that went in. I just start running up to the hole. And
this is driver off the deck, right? Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm playing I found one online. I found one on eBay, an old driver, the one that I had, and it was called a Speed Slot. And it was great driver. It was fantastic. It had a little,
never saw one, but I heard about it.
Yeah, it had this little low point on it. It was really easy to hit off the deck. Watched it go in, ran up there. I'm by myself. There's nobody around. Looked down into the cup. There it is, sitting right there. The next hole, my dad was in the same group that I goes. It was a Pro-Am thing. So it was a group of us from one club coming up to play. And so in the 16th hole is a downhill dog leg right. I had 165 yards left, which was a 6-iron for me at that point. And the pin was back right on the next hole. And my dad whispers to me, let's see what you're really made of now. And I remember standing over that ball, still is one of the best shots I've ever hit. Yeah, I just made Albatross the biggest hole. But that next, I piped it down the middle. I had 165 left, and I hit a little choke down, punch cut 6-iron. I knew it. I mean, even when he was said it, he's like, I said, no, this is going to be perfect. I'm not going to miss this. And those moments when you're on the course and everything's just easy. Oh, so anyways, that was my first professional win, even though I wasn't a professional at the time. And I had 12 professional wins over the time, usually small events. But the joy of winning never ceases, whether there's 300 people in the field or 10. So
isn't it amazing how one shot can just lock into your memory forever?
Yep. And unfortunately it goes the other way too. There's some shots that have locked in the wrong way too. There was let me give you the flip side of that. For whatever reason, in tournament play, me teeing off of the 3-wood never worked. I couldn't hit the 3-wood just on the first hole. Whatever the pressure was, I could hit an iron. I could hit it on a par 3. I hit driver, but I couldn't hit a 3-wood. I always top it. Okay, and I'm playing in this event down in Louisiana, and sure enough, I'm like, no, the play's a 3-wood. I'll play the 3-wood. I got to get over this thing. It's not a big deal. It was a Titleist 972, the gray and red lined Titleist 3-wood. And I hit it. And of course I topped it. It didn't even get to the white tees. Like, it was just awful. And the tournament organizer says to the guy, there's a guy standing next to the tournament organizer, and he says, why do you let guys like this play in these events? This is kind of embarrassing. And the tournament organizer says to him, you just watch, he'll come in with a 67. Sure enough, he came in with a 67. But yes, I can still feel all of those tops off the first tee. It's probably only 5 times I took a 3-wood off the tee because of that, but they burn both ways.
The great shots are always worth talking about. The bad shots linger in your head and terrify you when you're coming up to a similar shot or something, and people are always, every time my 3-wood, I top it. And, you get that stuff going in your head. And I'm always trying to remind my friends, hey, history has nothing to do with your next shot. Just you do your swing the way you do you. And don't think about that. How do we prevent that? How do we keep our minds straight without getting nuts about that stuff?
I could probably touch on that now, a few years later.
Please do.
One of the greats, and this I can't find who said it, but it was not me, said, when pressure picks up, the process takes over. I don't know if you've heard that over the years, but
many times.
Pressure is a fear of the unknown. Okay, it's either we haven't been in that situation before, we haven't prepared for that situation. There's unknowns that we don't know. And I relate it back to skydiving. The first time you go skydiving I've ever been, it's really scary. I mean, you're jumping out of a plane, trusting a parachute to take you to the ground. But the 100th time that you've done it, and you've learned how to pack your chute, and you know where all the cords are, and you know what it's going to feel like when you jump out of the plane, and how long you're going to be in the air, and how to breathe with the wind coming in your face, and there's no more unknowns, there's no fear. So that knowledge actually conquers the fear and is able to take over to the point where you can do crazy stuff not being afraid because you have enough knowledge to take over. But you see these guys that are seasoned pros in the Ryder Cup coming down the stretch at majors in an unknown position that they hadn't prepared for, that they have questions that haven't answered. Maybe the question is, am I going to hit it a club further because I'm juiced right now? Or is it, there's unknowns. But if you get there enough times and you do the same thing over and over enough, that allows you to overcome the fear and the pressure and be able to focus on the thing they actually have to focus on. So for me, when I explain this to people, which is strangely quite often because the mental game is such a huge part of golf, it comes in the pre-shot routine and the repetition of that pre-shot routine over and over and over. And you're trusting the process of getting to the ball so that when you're over the ball, all you're thinking is center of the ball, center to club face, hit that. I can do that. What I can't do is listen to the crowd and the situation. And, I've got a putt for, if I make this putt, I will. Oh, now you've added more stuff into your mind. You've added more details that you don't have answers for. And that causes stress, which causes pressure. And as you know, tension is the killer of the golf game. So
absolutely.
With the knowledge of being able to answer all of your questions before you get up there, what club, wind, where you want to hit it, where it's going to land, what you're trying to do, make those decisions so you don't have to think about them anymore. Then you go through your process of lining up, which all happens very quickly as you're going through your pre-shot routine. I know I'm lined up. I know my club face is square. I know what shot I'm hitting. There's no more questions I have. All I have to do is center of ball, center of face.
But we don't doubt our process. What gets into our head is results, right? And that's what gets in the way of process. When we do all our process and we do it right, and all of a sudden you're shanking it, or it's gone in the way. It can do any number of things. And I also have a but for your skydiver.
Okay.
With golf, there's a lot of mistakes that can be in your memory bank about what's going to happen next. But but for the skydiver is one mistake, and he's not going to remember what he's doing again because he ain't doing it again. So let's leave the skydiving to someone else. It's not, golf is worrisome and stressful, but it's not, hopefully not dangerous to our lives.
I hope not, but I'm pretty sure a few of us have been hit by errant golf balls over the years. But
knock on wood, so far not yet.
Oh, good for you.
You mean you have?
Oh yeah,
more than once.
Yeah, there's a few people in my family who have been hit by golf balls.
I live next to I have a golf hole right here. I'm right in driving range, and I get balls all the time. And luckily, in the 13 years we've lived here, only one person's been hit, and it was just a brush off of a bounce. So brush on their arm off a bounce. So
great.
So far, so good on that. Yeah.
But yes, you're right. There are buts. Yeah. And it's hard because we're human. We get stuff in our minds. We want to win. Yeah. And then we change our target. We change our target from the ball that's in front of us to the pin that's over there, or heaven forbid, the water that's left of that. Yeah. That's typically where our mind is.
So you're really big on making golf fun again, right? And many methods to do that. But I need some advice, and I'm glad you're here to help me out on this, because just today, my wife, who doesn't play golf, she's taken a golf lesson once or twice. She's played 9 holes a couple times, but she doesn't really have a lot of interest in playing golf. She likes to hike, and I say all the time, I like to hike too. Just every so often I want to hit something, right? So I walk when I play golf. Today, is she listening? No, okay. Today, she announces to me, I want to play golf with you again. I would like to go back. Now I'm interested in going back out and playing with you again. I'm like, but we've got a net back here. We can work a little bit on the net and, have you take no. I just want to go out. It's just to have fun. I don't want lessons. And I'm happy to pick up the ball. Whew. How do I make that fun for me? Give me some advice of what I can do to not get caught up, because I'm not going to give lessons during the round. I'm going to oh, good shot.
Well, she doesn't want your lessons, Fred. So
no, absolutely not. I'm a big advocate of keeping with your kid or your spouse. Keep your mouth shut when you're out on the golf course. Just,
I'm going to have to jump into a philosophical rant then, Fred.
Go for it, David. Let's do it.
It all has to do with your expectations. When you go out on a golf course and it's just you or you and the guys, you have a certain expectation of what's going to happen during the round. You're going to go play. You're trying to, beat your best score. You're trying to, make pars. You're trying to hit good shots. You're jabbering about each other's golf shots. And then there's a certain, shall we say, environment that goes with playing with the guys. I have recently spent quite a bit of time beside golf courses, just listening to groups going by. The language, the sarcasm, the jabbing, the ribbing that happens in these golf groups is very, very strong and prominent until you get a husband and wife with another husband and wife coming by. And then there's no more ribbing and there's no more jabbing. And then there's no more yelling at each other as they hit a terrible shot and topped it into the bunker. It's a much different environment, one group to the next. And your fun has to be based on your choice of what fun looks like to you out there with your wife. So for her, as she says, happy to pick up. So you say, okay, look, your fun is I'm going hiking and I'm hitting a few balls and I'm spending time with my husband, which means walking to my ball. And you set parameters around her golfing as, okay, the main point is we keep up to the group in front of us, which means if that means skipping a hole and walking along with me, if it means hitting more shots, if we're waiting, hey, sweet, hit a few more shots around the green and try putting it into the hole from here. Your fun becomes, I'm choosing to enjoy this time with my wife, and we get to hit a few golf balls while we're at it. But I would strongly recommend not to keep score during that round for you, Fred.
Oh, that's the advice I'm looking for.
Yeah, just enjoy it. And my wife's actually right over there, probably laughing at me at the same time, because she too took up golf as our youngest, my 9-year-old, when he started about 5 or 6. She's like, well, if I don't play golf, I'm going to get left behind. So she started playing as well. And it was very similar. I mean, she for many, many rounds, it was pretty bad. Couldn't get off the tee, couldn't hit it in the fairway. And just this year and just this like springtime, she's been hitting drives nicely now. We just got her a lighter 3-wood that she's able to hit off the ground. She can putt. Just learned how to chip this year. So she played 4 years not knowing how to chip and just putting it everywhere. But being with us, learning how to play. And it's not even so much learning how to play for it. It's just like a little bit of joy hitting the ball or not hitting it on the water on this hole, or having colored balls that she gets to play with instead of it's a different expectation, but it's the same game. So if you set your expectation of I get to spend time with my wife today and we're outside and hiking and hitting some golf balls, you will have fun.
Do I hear your wife making suggestions in the background?
Yeah, here, jump in for a second. Here, poke your head in.
I would say that for years there's a difference, even when I'm with my kids. There's a difference in a game that I'm working on my game, and there's a difference on a game that I'm having fun with the people I'm with.
Okay.
And so there's a social game, and then there's a work like a
trying to get
an
better
exercising game where I'm working on my shots and I'm trying to get better. And so when I'm playing with my kids, sometimes if one of them is in a bad attitude or whatever, then that's a social game.
No, never.
Never. Then I'm having a social game, and I just enjoy the ride with my family. I'm out doing the thing that he loves, the thing that my oldest son loves, that we as a family enjoy. That's the only sport in the world that you can do together with your level of golf and with her level of golf, and do it together and just enjoy the time together.
then
like a date.
if you guys level it up and say, hey, I'm going to go for a golf trip to, like we had one to Grey Wolf in Panorama, BC, up in the mountains. Okay, guess what? They've got a spa.
Yeah. Oh, we know the spas at golf courses.
Here, and there's bears and there's birds, and it is a hike.
Yeah.
So then it becomes an actual outdoor hiking adventure with golf clubs. I don't know. As long as you set your expectations straight, you can very easily have fun with it.
One of the things that you like to profess, David, is talking about making golf easier and fun. Let's go there.
Sure.
I need these tips to bring those along with me.
Golf is actually quite a simple game. It is.
I'm sorry.
I relate. No, it is a laugh. It is a laugh. But at the same time,
just get rid of your scorecard, right? You've already said that.
That's only step one, Fred. No, when you step onto a tennis court or a ping pong table, never does it enter your mind as the ball is coming at you, being served by the other person. Okay, let me make sure that I keep my head still as the ball is coming towards me, that I drop my elbow here. No, there's a flat surface that's in your hand, and there's a round ball that's coming at you. And you think, round ball, flat surface, hit it that direction. Same with baseball. You got a flat surface and a bat, and the ball coming at you. And then you try to connect the two and make it go a certain direction. Ping pong is the same thing. And the same principles apply to golf if we don't let all of the other stuff come in. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that I think that all, in-depth technical instruction is bad. There's a certain level at which you want that technical instruction. However, if that comes into your game too early, or you start technicalizing, see, that's an English word I just made up there. Technicalizing the golf swing where you don't need to, you need to come right back down to the 2 feet on either side of the ball that actually matters. Okay? There's a flat surface, there's a round ball, and the only thing that matters is where that flat surface is pointing when you hit it, and the path at which it's coming through on. Those are the only 2 things in golf that actually affect what you're doing. Yes, I realize there's descent angle and there's spin rate and there's flight. But for 95% of golfers around the world, the direction that the club face is pointing and the way it's moving through the ball, okay, we have to remember that where the club face is pointing is always where the ball is going to start. And then the path that the club is coming through on is going to apply right to left spin or left to right spin, right to left or left. One of the spins either way, and it's going to spin from there. Which means somebody says, oh, well, I hit everything right. Fantastic. I'm so glad to hear it. You're telling me that you're consistent. Everything is going to the right. All you have to do is spin the club in your hand so that the face is pointing more to the left. Do the exact same thing that you were just doing, and then it's going to start to the left. Oh, well, it's starting too far to the left. Fantastic. Now we
well, if your ball goes to the right, then aim left, right?
Right, but it's not even so much like aiming your body left as it is when we start to think flat surface, round ball, our bodies can actually do that. What we can't do is say, okay, when I get to the top, I'm going to try to get a little higher with my hands. And then just as I'm transitioning to the downswing, I'm going to drop the right elbow and tuck down in here. We can't figure that out fast enough in the swing. But what we can figure out is flat surface, ball, go that way.
Yeah.
And if we start there and then just apply speed to it and go longer and longer and longer and try to realize that everything else that we're doing is just applying speed to that 2 feet on either side, then we can start to build our own swing around the part of the swing that matters, the impact position, the hitting of the ball in a certain direction.
And visualizing it, not thinking about the mechanics during the swing of what you're supposed to be doing. That's like all pre-shot routine. Think about what you need to do. Then step up to the ball and think about a target somewhere else. Are you one of those that likes to play target golf and not think about just hitting the ball, but where the ball is supposed to end up?
Yes and no.
Let's stay with yes for now. No, I want the no.
During the pre-shot routine, when you're choosing your spot, there is a course management part of playing where you absolutely want to hit it or miss it in a certain area. There's incredible amounts of strokes that can be shaved off your game simply by picking the right place to go. However, there's a moment at which your thinking has to change from where the ball's going to end up to the task at hand, which is the only thing you can affect, which is the ball that's in front of you. So your target is actually the ball. All of the pre-shot routine part is you deciding where you want to try to hit that ball, but you can't affect where it's going to go. You can't affect what's going to happen over there.
You can get it started.
But you can only get it started in the 2 feet on either side that matters.
But is the ball the target?
Absolutely it is. By the time you're hitting, the ball is the target. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not aiming specifically at a corner of a bunker on the right side of the green, but that's where that switch has to happen. And so in that pre-shot routine, you go from, okay, I want exactly on that spot. This is the shot that I want. This is my interim target that I'm aiming for. And I bring everything back down into the actual target that I can affect, which is right in front of me. That I can do. And then that's the beautiful thing about the game of golf is it's a lottery. Every time you strike it, it's like, ooh, let's see where it gets to go this time. Oh no, I've buried myself in the face of the bunker and now have to. So yes, I realize that's a little unconventional because there's some really great instructors and there's some great teaching that through the years of the Harvey Penick take dead aim at where you're trying to hit it. And I understand that. But there's this disconnect between where the ball ends up and what we actually have to do. And it's hundreds of yards apart. And I think it becomes a lot easier if your actual task is hit the thing that's in front of you as opposed to try to connect with something that's hundreds of yards away.
Yeah. Excellent. And, you mentioned unconventional, and we just had Eric Alpenfels from Pinehurst is the head instructor at Pinehurst, and his book Instinct Putting, where talk about unconventional. He's talking about looking at the hole when you're putting and not looking at the ball. Have you ever had experience with that?
I have tried it.
And
putting is the great mystery of the game.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
You can look at the hole and get it in. Fantastic. Do that.
Do it. Yeah, right.
You can close your eyes and putt. Fantastic.
Same thing.
It's
almost the same thing, right?
Right. I have over the years struggled with the Y word, and
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's part of life, right?
Yeah.
And
so much so that you can't even say the word.
No, I can. That's a yips. But you might have some listeners that might keel over a little bit.
Like they're driving and all of a sudden you said the word yips and they're like, Arr!
Yeah, I crash. I don't want to be, I don't want to cause a wreck on the I-5, but
yeah, right.
No, that's truth. And you got to approach things with truth in life. So yes, I've struggled with the yips over the years. It was once so bad when I was in my playing days that back when you could have used long putters. It was so bad that I actually tried pinning the long putter to my neck and bending over and just trying to move my body in any kind of way to get the ball going. Now, it's way better than it used to be. In fact, I can play golf without them now. But I strongly believe that the yips, the shanks, that kind of stuff is all to do with the miscommunication between our eyes and our body. Our head actually tilts and moves in ways where we think we're aimed somewhere, but we're not actually aimed there. And there's a miscommunication between our eyes and our body. But we can, that's a topic for another day. But yeah, I know there's a number of guys. I know Spieth used the look at the hole method for quite some time and seemed to win quite a number of events doing that. Yeah. And so that's fantastic. If you can do it, fantastic. Go for it. Do it.
Talk again about unconventional and things that you've brought up to me in our email exchange. You are an advocate is the word that I want to use for single length irons, or a practitioner?
I am both.
Okay.
Keeping in mind, I don't try to force any specific idea on anybody other than trying to help them get what they want. What I want consistency. I want to be able to get up to a ball, know where I'm hitting it, aim that direction, and hit it. If that means, now here's my crazy, but if that means for me that I'm 5 yards shorter with each of my irons, or 5 yards longer, or if I have to play with a different grip that's not accepted by the majority, or I have to aim right and pull left, or I have to aim left and pull right, it doesn't really matter to me as long as I know that when I get to the ball, I'm going to hit it a direction and I want it to go that direction. Okay, my best playing in my lifetime, I was averaging 14 greens around. I didn't make a lot of birdies. Yeah, I was middle of the greens. I could two putt from everywhere, and some of them would go in. So let's call it 3 or 4 birdies around. Very rarely bogeys, almost never double bogeys. Certainly, like the 3 putts were speed putting was a forte. And that consistent and knowing, I remember being able to stand on the fairway and be like, okay, well, there's a little gap there that I can hit. I'm going to hit it there. That's where I want it to go. And it would just go there because I could do that. I believe that the more clubs that you have in your bag that are the same length and weight, the less variables you have in your clubs. Okay, I know full well when I'm playing I have 7 sets of golf clubs in my garage. Okay? I'm crazy. I understand. And I probably need another one.
And how many of them are single length?
I've got 2 sets that are single or, and those are the ones I play. Okay. When I say advocate, I am actually playing those. I'm playing them in events. I'm playing them in tournaments. I love them. Okay. I have one 10 club single length set, which is lob wedge to 4-iron. Okay. And these are both these sets are Avoda Golf irons. And so those are all 7-iron length lob wedge through 4-iron. Then I have a second set, which is lob wedge through 8-iron. Okay, that are all 9-iron length, and then 7, 6, 5, 4 are progressively longer. Okay, so let me just talk about the concept here first.
Yeah.
And the experience with it. Mm-hmm. When I'm playing the same length, 10 club, 7-iron length things, there is a level of accuracy and predictability that comes with all of the clubs that you cannot understand until you've tried it. I mean, I have custom fit sets of variable length clubs that are fit to my body and my swing and fantastic. And I hit them well. But to be able to pull any club out of your bag, that's an iron. Okay. Obviously it changes when it gets to woods and hybrids and driver. And you pull any of those irons out of your bag, it's the exact same setup. It's the same weight. It's the same feel. It's the same grip. The only thing that changes is how high it's coming off the face. And incredibly to me, once I started using them, I documented, I social media documented my first round with them and my first shots with them. Didn't even go to the range with them and didn't know the yardages of them. They're very close to your regular variable length irons. The switch over from a yardage perspective is almost nothing. Okay, to give you exact yardages and differences, my, shall we say, standard length 4-iron would fly about 212, let's call it, and the same length 4-iron will fly 206. So there's about a 5 or 6 yard difference, and it is lower, okay, because it's a lower lofted and lower spin. So there's a consideration that has to happen. But there's an accuracy that goes with those. So there's gives and takes with everything, but there's an accuracy that goes with those that is unmatched with other irons that I have played.
And there was no process for you to adapt to them? It just immediately worked for you?
I shot 71 the first round that I ever played with them.
Wow.
On a course that was a mountainside course where you have to be, there's sectional greens, big curves in between. There's significant ease in using them. there are a couple of tough points. Okay. The longest of the irons are touch points. That's like, yeah, maybe there definitely is some adjustment. And then the chipping around the greens took 2 rounds, let's call it.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that the wedges would be the hardest adjustment because, maybe even the shafts are different on the wedges or not? Are they stiffer or?
They are different, but because they feel like all your other clubs, it's not unusual. And actually, when I go back to a standard length wedge, I find myself bending over a lot and my back hurts more when I'm practicing.
Oh, of course.
So as an old fogey like me, even
Stop it, you're a child.
Yeah, I got the gray hair to prove it. It's good.
Oh, dude, don't even go there.
Sorry, Fred. Didn't mean to bring that one up. Anyway, but the other set that I have is kind of like the other adjustment of it, or maybe the best of both worlds. And so this is the set that I'm actually playing with regularly now. When it's soft, windy, or I'm playing link style golf, I'll go to the 10 club same length because I want everything low anyways.
Yep.
It gives you great flexibility there. Keeps everything low. It's very solid. Like hitting the center of the face is just easy. Okay. North American courses, typically you have to fly longer shots higher because you got to carry bunkers. You got to stop it on the greens. You may be landing onto a downslope. So what the company calls a combo length set are 6 clubs, 9 iron length, and then 7, 6, 5, 4 that get progressively longer. And so you have in your scoring clubs that same kind of consistency. And the way that I'm actually using them is I'm now gripping down on the 7, the 6, the 5, and the 4 to make them same length. Then if I need the extra height or the extra few yards, then I will add length in my grip. But you have to be disciplined enough to do it. And I've got the big grips on there too. So it feels good no matter how high you are on the shaft. But there is definitely some accuracy that leaves as soon as you lengthen out those 4, 5, 6 irons. And it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not a lot, but it's noticeable. And so then I have to ask myself, if I'm sitting there at 205, do I want to hit a hard 5 high? Or do I want to pick that spot up the middle with the 4 iron that I know is going to go that direction and just hit that shot? And so I've found myself, I had to play with, I had to play with my variable set just before a trip because I had all the clubs packed up, but I was still wanted to play. So I went out and played. And, I found things like the gap wedge. I'd stand over it and be like, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like a pitching wedge or a 9 iron. It doesn't feel like a wedge. There was some unusual stuff for me when I went back that wasn't there with the same length systems. The way I explain it to people now is the more of the exact same weighting and length clubs that you have in the bag, the better you're going to be for accuracy. But you have to understand that there are some trade-offs. The further you go in either direction from the 7 iron.
Yeah, I played single length irons for a bit, but I just never could get my head into it and be comfortable to the point where I'm like, yeah, this is so much better than what I was doing before. You also mentioned to me about you're now trying to play golf left-handed.
Yes,
and you are a right-handed golfer.
I am absolutely a right-handed golfer. I've played 30 years of golf right-handed, and
what?
I produced a self-paced video course earlier this year that was talking that helps with ball striking consistency. It works from the ball from the 2 feet that we were talking about, works from there backwards, allowing you to build your own swing or how your body's going to get back to that point. And it's, I figured, hey, it's simple, it's easy to follow. A bunch of people through it said, hey, this is great, fantastic. And I'm like, well, I want to know what it's like, and I can't do it because I already know how to play golf right-handed. So I'm like, hey, stupid idea. Why not try to learn the game all over again, left-handed? Okay. So
now you said you were a baseball player as a kid. Were you a switch hitter?
I was not a switch hitter, but I did play hockey left-handed. Okay. So I could hold a hockey stick left-handed, but if you look at my left-handed swing, it is not pretty. It's just not, it's not good golfing. Okay. But then so what I did is I said, well, screw this. I'm going to say, and I'm saying this publicly now, see, to you, that I'm doing this until I break par left-handed. Okay? It might take a while. Yeah. I have in production right now, just about ready to launch later this week. As of the recording of this, I know the publication is going to come out a little bit, but I've my first ever round left-handed without going to the range or anything. I rented a set of left-handed clubs and went out and played and documented it. Scores and everything, all the strokes, hit 5 balls out of bounds on one hole in the same spot with a giant slice. Like there was some good stuff, but there was some really, really ugly stuff. And so I've been working on it daily since then, and I'm gonna document it publicly. You'll be able to go to the channel and see the left-handed series and how it's progressing. But some really interesting things came up. And in our pre-chat before this podcast, we were talking about, the mental game and how you can eliminate strokes. Even my first round left-handed to my second round left-handed, changing my thinking to, there was one shot in particular. It was on the 10th hole of my second round left-handed. And I had 170 yards to the hole. But in order to get to the hole, I had to carry a desert area and some pot bunkers and really some death zones for your scorecard. But to the left of the green was a big open fairway area. And I've never aimed there before in my life, right-handed. It's just not somewhere I would have even thought. But as I'm standing there in the fairway, I'm like, well, if I can just hit it into that big fairway section, I could chip, I could putt from there, I could get it up onto the green, and I'd make bogey instead of risking a double or triple bogey instead of the par. And I hit it over to the left and I hit it into the big fairway part. And I actually got up and down for par. Right?
Wow.
And I thought, how interesting that just changing how I'm thinking to being like, no, I don't even care where the pin is. I care where the biggest part of the fairway is. And because I don't even know how to hit a bunker shot left-handed yet, I don't want to get in there. I can't get out. So I have to stay in the fairway. How can I stay in the fairway? So sometimes that meant hitting 8-iron instead of 5-iron and just playing 30 yards short. Sometimes it meant aiming like absolutely the other direction of the water and then having a longer shot in. And now I'm starting to think of the game differently from the people that I'm trying to help's perspective. It's like, well, how do we help them? Well, you have to aim for your ability. Anyways, it's been really interesting.
Yeah, it sounds fascinating. So tell us about where we can find you online at, what is it, bigswingkings.com?
Yes, you can see there in the hat if it's on video or if it's on voice. It's Big Swing Kings, and it's everywhere at Big Swing Kings. So the website is Big Swing Kings, the YouTube, the TikTok, the Instagram, the everything.
And you give online lessons too?
Online lessons, yeah, through Skillest and through the website. You can book online lessons with me. You can even submit your swing for free, and I will roast it. I mean, help you while also making fun content. But no, and that's the beautiful thing about golf is we all know that we suck. It doesn't matter what level you're at. You can watch the top pros on a bad day. We all know that we suck. Yep. And that's what makes it so much fun is that we can make fun of ourselves and we can see our errors in life. It's like how we should think about life. It's like, we mess up all sorts of places. And we're okay looking at ourselves and saying, yeah, you know what, that actually does need to change. And that's what I love so much about helping people in golf is that we all know that we need help. We all
Martin Chuck said, you can't embarrass me. I play golf.
Exactly.
So you can't say anything that'll embarrass me.
I have missed a 2-foot putt to win a match. Like you
should be looking at the hole.
No, I need one of those balanced lie angle balanced putter. That's the newest trend, isn't it?
Don't get me started. Not for Golf Smarter listeners.
No, it's not for me either. But
no. Listen, we've been on lie angle balance. We've been on the Lab Golf putters since 2019.
Okay,
huge advocate. Absolutely love those putters. So don't cross me here. This is not the time because we're about to say goodbye. David, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining us today.
I actually do have a lab putter in the bag at the moment, so I can't say too much.
Yeah, of course you do. Everyone should and probably will soon. Oh, my God. David, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Fred.